I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The prayer today is about faith. Faith doesn't always take you out of a problem. Faith takes you through the problem. Faith doesn't always take away the pain. Faith gives you the ability to handle the pain. Faith doesn't always take you out of a storm. Faith calms you in the midst of the storm. Amen.
Good morning, Commissioners. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Max, do we have anyone signed up back there?
Yeah, I gave a sheet.
Okay, great. Okay.
And that item will come to this at the second, because it's not on the agenda. So we'll take it at the second public comment. Thank you.
Anyone else who would like to speak on an item on the agenda today? Okay, thank you. Item number 2. On June 29, 2026, I concurred with the Auburn Township trustees in not requesting a hearing on the liquor license being requested by White Barn Brands LLC, the Mercantile located at 17720 Ravenna Road, Chagrin Falls, Ohio, OCT NEW 1001 3276-1. And that's it.
Okay. Item 3 and 4, the Commissioner's Office is requesting the Board approve and execute the minutes for the meeting of January 27th and February 3rd, 2026.
I'll make a motion to approve 3 and 4.
I second the motion. Any discussion? Call for a vote?
Commissioner Brackey?
Aye.
Commissioner DeVore?
Yes. Oh, there's another one. The Commissioner's Office is, okay, no, I got that. We're right.
Morning,
Adrian, you have the
Commissioners.
floor.
Adrian
Yes.
has that one.
Yeah. Morning. Adrian Gorton with the Commissioner's Office. Today's financials include an appropriations transfer to the sheriff for miscellaneous refunds, reimbursements, and web checks that were deposited into the general fund. Among the encumbrances is the contract encumbrance to increase the City of Chardon for the pretrial release officer payment, and a purchase order for the Commissioners to 908 Devices Incorporated for the chemical detection system device. Among the vouchers is $64,219 from the Clerk of Courts and Common Pleas Court to Courtview Justice Solutions for service and support of their courtroom management software. And this was $61,161 from last year, so a few $1,000s more this year. There's also $3,196,092.50 from the Commissioners to Title Professionals Group for the Senior Center Construction Fund purchase of the Chardon Senior Center, and $261,339.41 from maintenance to Ohio Paving and Construction Company for a partial pay request for the Safety Center parking lot project.
I'll move to approve the financials.
Second. Any discussion? Call for vote?
Commissioner Brackey?
Aye.
Commissioner DeVore?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Adrian.
Good morning.
Shane Hajar with the Engineer's Office, here to present just a few of the agenda items today.
It's like half the agenda.
It feels so important. Items 6 and 7 are pay requests. I'll go through those here together. Item number 6, the Engineer's Office is requesting the Board approve and execute change order number 1 and final, decreasing the contract with Geauga Highway Company for the asphalt resurfacing of Messenger Road, County Highway 31, Sections B and C in Auburn Township in the amount of $8,998.10.
All right, do you want to do 7 too?
Sure. Item number 7, the Engineer's Office is requesting the Board approve and execute change order number 1 and final, decreasing the contract with Roniak Paving for the asphalt resurfacing of Mumford Road, County Highway 24, Sections E and F in Troy Township in the amount of $14,059.00.
All right, decreasing the contract, pump that into my veins.
Yes.
I'll make a motion to approve items number 6 and 7.
Second. Any discussion? Call for vote?
Commissioner Brackey?
Aye.
Commissioner DeVore?
Yes.
Thank you. Item number 8, the Engineer's Office is requesting the Board approve and execute the unit price contract with Roniak Paving Incorporated for the asphalt resurfacing of Bass Lake Road, County Highway 23, sections D and E in Munson and Newbury Township in the amount of $667,650.00.
I'll move to approve number 8.
Second the motion. Any discussion? Call for vote.
Commissioner Brackey.
Aye.
Commissioner DeBoer.
Yes.
Thank you. 9, 10, and 11 are all the same issue for the 3 OPWC projects. They're long, so I'll just read each one of them separately, but they're kind of the same thing. The engineer's office is requesting the board approve and execute Resolution 26-105, authorizing Carolyn Brackey, board member of the Geauga County Board of Commissioners and Chief Executive Officer for the Ohio Public Works Commission, Project DGAD04, to electronically execute and submit the project grant loan agreement for the asphalt resurfacing of sections F and G of Bass Lake Road in Munson Township in the city of Chardon.
I forgot I was a CEO.
Yeah.
That was a good reminder. I'll make a motion to approve number 9.
Second. Any discussion? Call for vote.
Commissioner Brackey.
Aye.
Commissioner DeBoer.
Yes.
Thank you. Similarly, number 10, engineer's office requesting the board approve and execute Resolution 26-106, authorizing Carolyn Brackey.
Oh, no. Oh,
I'm
no.
missing an N in there.
Oh, whoa.
Uh-oh. Board member of the
Nobody caught it.
board member of the Geauga County Board of Commissioners and Chief Executive Officer for the Ohio Public Works Commission, Project DGAD14, to electronically execute and submit the project grant loan agreement for the replacement of Bascom Road Bridge in Hamden Township.
All right, I'll move to approve 10 with my name corrected.
Correct.
Okay. Second the motion. Any discussion? What percentage is OPWC on this project?
That one is a true 50%. We actually came in under our project estimate, so it's half of the $246,000 that.
Thank you.
Yep,
Call for vote.
Commissioner Brackey.
Aye.
Commissioner DeBoer.
Yes.
thank you. The last one, I wouldn't be able to answer the question because we haven't bid it yet. This is for the Bainbridge Road Bridge. Item number 11, the county engineer's office requesting the board approve and execute Resolution 26-107, authorizing Carolyn Brackey, board member of the Geauga County Commissioners, Chief Executive Officer for Ohio Public Works Commission, Project CG24-AD/CG25AD, to electronically execute and submit the project grant and loan agreement for the replacement of the Bainbridge Road Bridge. And this project we're submitting the application for funding, but that project is going to be bid and built next year.
I'll move to approve 11.
Second. Any discussion? Call for vote.
Commissioner Brackey.
Aye.
Commissioner DeBoer.
Yes.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Morning.
Good
Morning.
I'm glad to see they found the paint
Yeah, it looks good, right?
to fill in. Scott Hildenbrand, Tom Rowan from the Sheriff's Office. Item number 12 is looking for the board approve and authorize the president of board to execute the Ohio Department of Public Safety, Criminal Justice Services for the Stop Violence Against Women's Act grant program, the amount of $43,611.17. $32,708.72 is from OCGAS, and $10,902.91 is from the general fund.
All right, I'll move to approve number 12.
Second. Any discussion? Call for vote.
Commissioner Brackey.
Aye.
Commissioner DeBoer.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yes, we'll have to do 14.
20 minutes.
Oh, we got a lot of time.
We'll
We
move.
might make to maintenance before we have to do the hearing.
We'll move to item number
Yeah,
14.
let's go, Gina, let's go.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
How's everybody today?
Good.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
So I'm Gina Hofstetter with Community and Economic Development, along with Elaine Malkamecki.
We are here for item number 14, but we first wanted to discuss the projects with you before we read it. And Elaine's going to go ahead and do that. We have 2 projects involving this grant agreement that we'd like to share.
The first one is the old buck stop on 322 and 306.
Whoa.
Yes.
All right.
Chesterland is very excited
It's about
for
3
this.
years in the making.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So, as you know, holes in the roofs,
Yes.
it's just fallen down. It is a mess. They want to take that down. It is full of quite a bit of asbestos. So their quote was a little bit higher, but they are really committed to getting this down. I think it'll be like 2 weeks maybe to get this project completed.
From now or?
No,
just-
I have
once
to
it
do a
starts?
reimbursement agreement
Okay.
with them
There's more.
between us and.
Paper.
I was
There's
so
another
excited.
agreement. I know.
Sorry.
But once we get that done, it's like a 2-week project and they'll have everything done. The other one is, it's for GMHA. They have a duplex in Middlefield on Cloverdale that is structurally, the integrity is not good. The home is not attached to the foundation and the back wall. They had water, I guess, and the whole sill plate rotted out. So MLB is Buckstop. That's who the applicant is. They are anticipating a commercial redevelopment, and GMHA.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Have they considered a Wendy's there?
I don't know, but that's all over Facebook, so I think it would go pretty good.
That was for you, Anastasia.
Rumor has it, there's quite a demand for the Wendy's to come.
I thought I'd make a dog park, nice dog park.
Or a stop sign, one of the two. But GMHA, they anticipate putting up a new duplex for low to moderate income residents.
And
It's
then
been
how does
vacant
that?
for many, many years, the
Okay.
house
Yeah.
in Middlefield, which is a shame.
Yeah. How does that 230 divide between the 2 recipients?
So the Buckstop project is approximately 136,000, and the duplex is about 36,000.
Okay.
So we come in with our admin fees and everything.
Yeah.
We come in at 195,000 of the 230,000.
Okay.
So,
Got it.
yeah. Yeah.
Any questions at all about the projects? Okay. And just for purposes of the buck stop, it is the Loretto Development Company. That MLB is made of several investors in that project. So, and they are very, very committed. So item number 14, the Department of Community and Economic Development is requesting the board approve and authorize the president of the board to electronically execute and submit the Ohio Department of Development Building Demolition and Site Revitalization Program Grant Amendment Exhibit 1 and First Amendment to grant agreement between the State of Ohio Department of Development and Geauga County for the period of July 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2026 in the amount of $230,000.
Move to approve 14.
Second the motion. Any discussion? Call for vote.
Commissioner Brackey.
Aye.
Commissioner DeWark.
Yes.
Awesome, thank you.
And I just want to add, you were both comfortable in the prosecutor's notes that were provided for you. She wanted to make it very clear that you understood that she feels there is some risk. Do you guys happen to see that?
I don't recall seeing that.
Okay, I would really not be comfortable without you knowing that,
May have
so.
gotten taken off when he got scanned,
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
because it's this.
She says that there are some sections that leave the county open.
Carolyn,
Oh.
that's why, probably. She probably took it off.
Can I just, I mean, I
Yeah,
know we
please.
already approved it, but
Yeah, we,
so you-
oh yeah, we probably should. Just assumed.
She probably took it off.
It's okay.
sorry, I'm having trouble reading the handwriting.
So we have been working on this agreement since February, and there's been a lot of back and forth with the state, and of course our prosecutor's office. So this is like the final version of what they came up with, but she did.
She
Add
got
the
a
note.
lot of things changed. She didn't get everything that she wanted. But she says that we are open for some liability.
Yeah, that's what her note
Yeah,
indicated.
yes,
Yeah, okay.
yeah.
I mean, I think these are both very worthwhile projects for the community,
They are.
and to the extent they wouldn't go forward without these grants, I think that the risk is worth it.
Yes.
Um,
I
For
mean,
their solid
we
projects.
do a reimbursement agreement, so anything that
Okay.
she has some concerns with, we can put that in, I believe, the reimbursement
We'll try to get heavy
agreement.
on the language
Yes.
in that
That makes
next
sense.
step, if you will.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
So there's still a way to cover ourselves even
For
if
sure.
we
Yes.
feel that there's some risk to the
But
agreement. I
since
mean,
we
I
did
did
have some wiggle room, I did bump up the projects. I added just some more funding to make
Yeah.
sure that everything is covered.
Okay, yeah,
So-
that makes sense. I mean,
And
I
clearly
did,
we're under, so.
I did read
yeah.
the agreement and I mean, it's kind of what you, it's going to be more one-sided just
Yes.
because of the nature that they're giving us money.
There's
right?
intentionally omitted a lot in there, so.
But
Yeah.
she's doing her
did that.
job and she
She did
really
what she signed it.
sticks it to the state. I mean, she really holds them accountable, which
She's-
they typically don't cave, as we know, so.
Yeah.
No, and she talked to them. She said, does anybody do this? And they're like, no, nobody else
Just
comes
Geauga.
back.
Yeah, they're
We-
like,
we
it's
do
free
do-
money, thank you very
Yes,
much, yeah.
yeah, but we do, she follows what she needs to keep you guys, safe.
Okay, well, thank you, I appreciate you
Okay,
flagging that.
thank you so much.
Thank you. Item 15, maintenance.
14 minutes.
I'm gonna,
Plenty of time.
Okay, Charles T. Catch, Maintenance Department. I have items 15 through 19 on the agenda. The first one is a contract for the annex building masonry repairs and roof replacement. It's on the rear addition of 215 and 219. We did award the bid back at the end of May to A-Star, and this is just the execution of the contract. So item 15, the Maintenance Department is requesting the board approve and execute the construction agreement with Architectural Siding, Trim, and Roofing, A-Star Incorporated, for the Geauga County Courthouse Annex Masonry Restoration and Roof Replacement in the amount of $257,047.56, $235,845.56 is the base bid, and $21,202 is the owner's contingency. The bid bond submitted shall be held to serve as the performance bond for this project.
I'll move to approve 15.
I second. Any discussion? Yes. Do you have a list of the subcontractors from this A-Star?
Yes, there's only one, Coons,
Okay. Very good.
for the masonry work.
Okay.
Mhm.
Call for a vote?
Commissioner Brackey.
Aye.
Commissioner DeBoer.
Yes.
Okay, item 16 is related to that. This is the notice to proceed. The Maintenance Department is requesting the board approve and execute the notice to proceed for Architectural Siding, Trim, and Roofing Incorporated for the Geauga County Courthouse Annex Masonry Restoration and Roof Replacement on or before July 20th, 2026.
I move to approve.
Second. Any discussion? Call for a vote?
Commissioner Brackey.
Aye.
Commissioner DeBoer.
Yes.
And item number 17 is related to the same project. It's the notice of commencement. The Maintenance Department is requesting the board approve and execute the notice of commencement of the public improvement pursuant to ORC 1311.252 for Architectural Siding, Trim, and Roofing Incorporated for the Geauga County Courthouse Annex Masonry Restoration and Roof Replacement Project.
I move to approve 17.
Second. Any discussion? Call for a vote?
Commissioner Brackey.
Aye.
Commissioner DeBoer.
Yes.
Okay, item number 18 and 19 are also related. That is for the Opera House Mason Repair and Restoration Project. We actually went out to bid. We had received 3 bids. One of them was an incomplete bid, and that's item number 18. I did provide in the packet a list of the 3 items that were incomplete with the bid that made it non-responsive. So item number 18 is the Maintenance Department is requesting the board reject the bid submitted by Geauga Acquisitions LLC for the Opera House Mason Repair and Restoration Project, as the bid guarantee and bid form did not comply with the requirements of the invitation to bid, making it non-responsive.
So Chuck, I note in the packet, you included some other issues this particular contractor has had with other public entities.
That is correct.
So is your recommendation solely based on the non-responsive nature of the bid, or also those other issues as well?
Well, we had two options. We could have rejected all the bids and rebid.
Yeah.
That would have given that contractor an opportunity to,
Right.
submit the correct
Right,
information.
right.
With the additional information, we felt that that was not a step that was necessary and probably in the county's best interest.
Yeah, that's fair, because it seemed like those other counties and so forth like, got into those contracts, and then they had later issues where they
Yes.
had to rescind the contract.
Correct.
Okay, so that makes sense. I just wanted to make sure I
Yep.
fully understood the picture. I'll move to approve number 18.
Second. Any discussion? Call for vote?
Commissioner Brackey.
Aye.
Commissioner DeWort.
Yes.
Okay, and then with that, item 19 is the Maintenance Department is requesting the board award the bid to Grunwell Cachero Company for the Opera House Masonry Repair and Restoration Project in the amount of $129,894. $118,394 is the base bid, $11,500 is owner's contingency, as they represented the lowest and best bid.
I'll move to approve 19.
Second. Any discussion? Call for vote?
Commissioner Brackey.
Aye.
Commissioner DeWort.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. Nick Goris, Water Resources. Item on the agenda is requesting the board approve and execute a contract maintenance form. Number one, increasing the service contract with Cummings Incorporated in the amount of $8,335.91 on the wastewater side for a new total not to exceed amount of $18,335.91. The oddity in the number is we had a shortfall on a request and then an $8,000 bump.
I'll move to approve 20.
I second. Any discussion? Call for a vote?
Commissioner Brackey.
Aye.
Commissioner DeWort.
Yes.
Thank you.
Can I propose to the board that we address item 23, if you're open to moving that far down on the agenda?
Sure.
Okay. The Commissioner's Office is requesting the board approve and authorize County Administrator Amy Bevan to execute a letter to the property owners of Autumn Ridge regarding the conservation easement. So this is this was the parcel of land that we placed a couple of months ago into a conservation easement. There is an excessive amount of trespassing going on. There's approximately 29 landowners that this letter would go to. We asked you to sign 30 copies today just to have an extra one for our files as well. And so working with Soil and Water to make sure that we notify the surrounding property owners of the trespassing, and then directing them all towards the sheriff to report the trespassing instead of to us or Soil and Water. So trying to get all the feedback sort of directed into one place.
Okay, very good. I'll move to approve number 23.
Second. Any more discussion? Call for a vote?
Commissioner Brackey.
Aye.
Commissioner DeWort.
Yes.
And go to 24.
Sure. We have 8 minutes.
So I'll move to appoint Chris Miller to the Geauga County Library Board of Trustees.
I second the motion. Any discussion? I just want to say that he's on the board. He filled the last 2 years of someone that has a 7-year board appointment. And since then, since this year sometime, the state or the library board changed it to 4 years. So I second the motion, and that's my discussion, but call for a vote?
Commissioner Brackey.
Aye.
Commissioner DeWort.
Yes.
Since we're doing appointments, Commissioner, are you prepared to appoint to the Mental Health Board as well?
Yeah, I think the last couple meetings, we were, as commissioners, we were waiting for Christina Lacomiac's review and recommendation, and we just got that last week, I think Thursday or Friday.
Yes, Friday afternoon.
So I'd like to,
I do not have that.
I haven't. I mean, I can make their recommendation. So I'll move to appoint the following members to the Board of Mental Health and Recovery Services: Kathy Johnson, Melody Conilo, and David Fabig.
I second that motion. Any more discussion?
The only thing I'll add is that there was not an applicant who met the criteria of being a consumer of recovery, of addiction recovery services. And so that's why we're only appointing 3 people today instead of 4, even though there's 4 openings. And so we should continue to look for that 4th seat for that specific criteria.
Yeah, and that was in the email from Christina Lacomiac, so we'll just wait on the other appointment. Wait for more people to apply.
Yeah, they do not have a board meeting in July, so we have a little bit of time.
Sure.
To try to find somebody for that seat.
Okay.
Did we vote on that? Okay.
Commissioner Brackey?
Aye.
Yes.
Sorry, I thought I was.
I had a motion and a second, but we hadn't.
It's all right. It's like, I didn't think we did, but
Okay.
we got 5 minutes. I mean, we could go back to 21, right?
We can.
Is that going to take a
Sure.
while or? Okay.
No,
We're going all over the place today.
that's okay. The Commissioner's Office is requesting the Board approve and authorize the President of the Board to execute change order number 17, which is a decrease, and change order number 1, which is also another decrease, as a reconciliation with Infinity Construction Company Incorporated for the Geauga County Courthouse Expansion Project, GMP Phase 1, change order number 1, in the amount of negative $49,637, and GMP Phase 2, change order number 17 in the amount of negative $16,449.
I'll move to approve 21.
I second the motion. Any more discussion?
Amy, could you just talk briefly why these were decreases?
So this is the final reconciliation, short of just some remaining punch list items. So it's the return of money back to the county essentially for the project. They're also going to be coming forward with a request for another reduction in retainage. So that'll be coming in the next week or two. So yeah, as we just close items out with the project, I think the next big milestone is, I think I said between now and around November, you'll just continue to see minor pay apps here and there, nothing substantial, which is why they felt comfortable returning the funds. And then in December, we'll have an 11-month walkthrough. So.
Okay, great. I'll make a motion to approve 21.
I second the motion. Any discussion? Call for vote.
Commissioner Brackey?
Aye.
Commissioner DeWark?
Yes.
All right, so we got to twiddle our fingers till 10 a.m.
We have a lot of signing to do, so
Okay.
you could start working on
So
that
we
for a
won't
couple
be twiddling our
minutes.
fingers, just the rest of
We
the
could-
Yes.
people in the audience will be.
And then-
Adrian will be.
Adrian
He'll be
can-
tapping his foot
yeah.
over there.
Chomping at the bit.
Yep. Well, you guys could set up if you want to get ready. Okay. Adrian, would you prefer I ask questions as you go, or do you want us to hold them until the end of the presentation?
However you feel, there is a place at the end for you and Jim to ask questions, specifically from the commissioners. As last year, we're asking the residents and the people in chambers here to hold their questions until the public comment period.
Okay.
But yeah, you are in charge, so if you want to ask a question while I'm presenting, feel free. If you want to ask it at the end, we can do that too.
We'll wait till the end. We'll follow your program that you designed for the last 3 or 4 months.
There is a slide just for you to ask questions.
Now, before you start, I mean, are you going to start with like a warm-up joke or anything, or?
No, that's what Debbie
Actually,
does.
Debbie's taken over that function, so I'm the straight man.
Okay.
See if you can get a better a reaction than my Chesterland and Wendy's joke. That's your bar.
In the meantime, do we have a motion to waive the reading of the legal notice?
I will move to waive the reading of the meeting, of the hearing notice. Hearing notice, is that what I was reading? Legal notice. The what notice?
The legal notice.
Legal notice, waive the reading of the legal notice.
Second the motion. Call for a vote?
Commissioner Brackey?
Aye.
Commissioner DeWark?
Yes.
And then anybody that would want to comment or ask a question will need to be sworn in because it is a public hearing.
Okay. Anyone that would like to provide testimony today for the hearing, can you raise your right hand? Anybody? All right.
It is now 10 o'clock.
At 10 o'clock, okay. Okay, thank you, everybody, for attending. I'm Adrian Gorton. I'm the Budget Finance Manager for the Commissioner's Office. First, I'd like to thank all the residents of Geauga County for your support to the county. Without the residents of the county, we would not be here. Next, I'd like to thank all the fiscal personnel in each of the departments that provided their budgets to us, and also the elected officials and department directors, and also the commissioners and the auditor and their staffs as well. This is not my budget, it's everyone's budget. So without further ado, I will go ahead and get into the first slide here. So for 2027, as you see, the tax budget is coming in. This is the total tax budget for all the funds in the county at 156.7 million. That's about 6% less than this year for the 2026 adopted budget. And there's a couple different factors for that. First, the McFarland Wastewater Treatment Plant Upgrades Project beginning to wrap up with a much smaller remaining budget. Also, the Engineers Road and Bridge Fund, they are unable to budget any appropriations right now due to the levy being on the ballot this fall in the final year of its collection, as well as no other brownfield projects currently being on the docket for 2027 as of right now. All three of these items reduced expenses a combined 13 million. On other notable changes from 2026, the adopted budget are a $1.9 million increase in the general fund, which we'll cover in more detail a little bit later. Also, mental health and Metzenbaum decreased their budgets by about $800,000 each. Metzenbaum also eliminated their transfers to and from their reserve fund, as they expect their balances to be insufficient to support increasing their reserve, and they are anticipating utilizing the remaining $200,000 that is in the fund right now this year. Children's Services with JFS increased almost $900,000 from 2026. The Building Improvements Fund is about flat from this year, with a little over $800,000 additional that will be provided as projects progress throughout the year. As I mentioned, the general fund portion increased about 1.9 million. This year it's at about 53.2. This included $577,000 increase from the sheriff, $661,000 for maintenance, $134,000 from the prosecutor, and $133,000 from the treasurer, $148,000 from the building department, and $145,000 from ADP, with other smaller increases and decreases spread out among the remaining departments. And we'll break down the general fund expenses a little bit later in the presentation. As you see, I mentioned there are operational transfers that total up to about 6 million, making the core functions of the general fund about 47.2 million. So things that are contained within the operational transfer expenses are items like emergency transfers, 911 funding, 800 megahertz radios, court technology, capital projects, debt service, grant matches, public assistance, family first, community development, and other reimbursements. Miscellaneous is reflecting about a $220,000 decrease right now due to changes in the funding level requirements for 911 and the court technology fund. This year again, there are no unfunded or delayed requests due to the current levels of the unappropriated balance in the general fund. The general fund was able to absorb the roughly $4 million deficit and maintain a modest ending balance. So when I say modest ending balance, that's about $2 million. Of course, we know that the general fund will never be $2 million. That's because of unused appropriations and uncertified revenues. So Later on in the presentation, I'll have what I feel will be a rational starting balance for the general fund, as I consulted my crystal ball and spoke nicely to it. And it, once I did some calculations as well, came up with a fairly reasonable number. So just so everybody knows that you never see the numbers that's on the actual paperwork necessarily, but there are, there's been much conversation about the ending balances and the beginning balances and how, you know, they are typically off a bit. So, but that is what the numbers say on the papers, and I can't make the numbers say what reality is. So I do have a slide here in the presentation where we'll cover that. So this is looking at the 2027 tax budget as far as the revenue side is concerned, and it does reflect an increase in revenue of 1.3 million. This could be considered a modest increase in revenue considering last year we received over 53.5 million. Most of the increase for 2027 was from $1 million increase in the sales tax. This makes the budgeted sales tax for 2027 $22.75 million, or $22,750,000. The actual amount received in 2025 was 23 million, so this figure can be achieved. We budgeted 21.75 million for this year, and through May we are about 3% ahead of that number. We're still trying not to overstep on the sales tax figure revenue. That is driven mostly or exclusively through consumer confidence, and behavior could change dramatically up or down from year to year. Any increase in the sales tax as well immediately stifles the activity that is necessary to produce it, and until we pay off the revenue bond for the office building, we cannot reduce the sales tax. We have had a good run so far for many years. And the sales tax continues to be a bright spot in the county's revenue budget. The largest increase outside of sales tax is the cost allocation. This is due to departments that reside in the county office building paying the building capital charge in their cost allocation. The rest, as you can see, there are small tweaks. There were 2 decreases. These were net decreases in the juvenile court fees and fines at 19,000. And also our transfers in of 100,000. So now I will turn it over to Debbie to further discuss the revenue.
Well, as promised, I have to start with my dad joke. Jim, just for so, now Adrian, what is your degree? You have,
Business administration and accounting.
okay, so you're an accountant.
Yes.
Okay, so why do accountants have great abs? Because they're good at number crunching. Oh wait, though, you know, the ab thing doesn't really apply to this county.
Very good.
Okay. Probably blew a hole in mine for you. So where does the general fund money come from? This bar graph illustrates the breakdown of the sources of the revenue that go into the general fund. Sales tax continues to be the largest source. In 2027, we're projecting that the sales tax will be about 46.31%, and that is, like Adrian said, about 22.8 million that's going to the general funds. Second position is the property tax. What an issue. And that is the second largest source, and that is going to provide about 23.71% of the funding, which is about 11.6 million to the general fund. So together, those 2 taxes make up about 70% of our general fund revenue. So I'm going to circle back to those 2 later. The other small ones there You have interest income, other is the rent, revenue from gas wells, auction proceeds, that kind of thing. Property tax, property transfer tax, that's the fee charged when a property deed is transferred to a new homeowner. We have fees and fines like building permits or court fines. There's prisoner housing, casino tax, cost allocations, which is about 1.2 million, and those are charges to the departments that are outside the general fund for services that we provide, like postage, maintenance services, insurance, and then the local government tax is a stipend that comes from the state. So a little bit about, that's not very big, but wow, those aren't even red. Interesting. So a little bit about sales tax. The house sales tax was first initiated in 1934 at a rate of 3%. And then within 15 years, the sales tax had become the principal source of revenue for the state. Current sales tax for Geauga County is 6.75%, which is projected to be about $153.6 million in 2027. So of this 6.75%, the state share is 5.75%, which will be about $130.8 million of that. And then Geauga County receives only 1% of the total collected, which is going to be about $22.75 million, like Adrian said earlier. So county governments have the option to collect up to 2.5% beyond what the state's share is of the 5.75%. So for example, Geauga and Franklin counties, they've elected to collect 2.25% above the state. So the state's portion, so that brings them to a total of 8% sales tax in their counties. And Geauga County elected to collect 1% and has been operating on 1% since 2004. So this map indicates the sales tax rates of each county in Ohio. And the majority of the counties, there's 50 of them, represented in what now looks like purple, has a sales tax rate of 7.25%. And the 31 counties represented in white, they carry the lowest tax rates, and they're all under 7%. And then the 7 in black is they carry a rate of 7.3% or higher. Now Lake County, and also in this map, I think it's interesting, this map comes from the state, and they left 3 counties unnamed. So that's Trumbull, Mahoning, and Columbia.
That wasn't my question.
Columbiana, why are they blank?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Lake County is missing their tax rate, and Lake County is 7.25%, but 0.25% is designated for Lakeland. This is the sales tax history by month since 2019. And we can see the increases and decreases since then, and it's on a monthly comparison. But something you need to remember is that there's a 3-month delay between when we receive the funds into the county and when the money was actually collected on purchases. So, for example, May is what we're up to date to here, so you can still see the jumps. We've had consistent jumps throughout the history shown here. And like for last month, May, we collected $1,694,443, and that so that was received into the county. And in comparison to this time last year, the sales tax receipts are up almost $1 million. And there are 15 counties that are still at the 6.7, they're at the 6.75% rate along with us. So now I want to take and look at, we're going to switch over to property tax, and I want to look at where every dollar of property tax paid by a homeowner goes. So on an average, we're receiving from property tax 16.3 cents to fund county programs. And then the remaining 83.7 cents funds the local school districts and so if we take the 83, if we take the largest chunk, which is 54.2 cents, that's received to the local schools, and then if I add in the joint vocational school district, which is 2.3%, 3 cents, and then the special districts, and those are districts that are like, they border, they're on the county line, that's Riverside and Madison, and they receive 0.8 cents. So if you take all the money that goes to the schools, then we're looking at a total of 57.3 cents. So what's that leave? It leaves the townships 17.6 cents out of that dollar, and the city and villages 3 cents, the library 3 cents, and the park district receives 2.8 cents. So now you can see that the Geauga County programs are receiving the 16.3 cents. So I want to go to the next slide and break that down. Right out of the gate here, you see all the green parts of the pie. And those green parts are all levied. Those are all funds that are supporting the levies. And those levies would be for, the largest chunk is the developmental disabilities. Also, there's children's services, mental health, the roads and bridges, senior citizens, and the health district. So the area, the piece of the pie that's in blue is 5 cents, and this is the part that that the general fund receives from property tax. So even though it's a nickel out of every dollar, it still results in about $11.5 million to the general fund. So Adrian, he'll give a little history on the general fund revenue, and then he'll tell you all where all the nickels go.
Thank you, Debbie. So here's a kind of a general fund revenue by source graph. You can kind of see, and I'm going to step over here a little bit. So the light blue at the bottom, that's all your real estate taxes. You can kind of see towards the end down here, 24, 25, where that did bump up. That was from the increase in the property values. The last remaining little red sliver right there, that was from a millage shift that the commissioners did back after the safety center was built, and they shifted part of the inside millage to debt retirement. So that was the last year that they had to do that. The property transfer tax is that light green line there right above the blue, and then the sales tax is the purple. So you can kind of see that, yeah, the sales tax has been a significant portion of our funding over the years. There's undivided local government above that, which has remained pretty consistent, as well as investment income. You can kind of see in 2023 that really expanded quite a bit as interest rates went up. The blue above that is department fees, and then the red's cost allocation, and then you have a kind of a darker green color, that's the casino tax there. And then finally, prisoner housing and our other revenue above that. So you can kind of see how it has grown as well. Mainly probably in the last few years due to property taxes, sales tax, and the investment income. Also, the larger blue block there above the actual 2020, that was due to COVID reimbursements from the coronavirus relief fund. That's why that jumped up there that 1 year. The sales tax increase from 2017 to 2027, we went from $14,845,241 to $22,750,000 that we're budgeting for 2027. This represents an increase of $8 million per year in a 10-year average of about $800,000 a year. Okay, so this is the magic screen here of available resources from 2023 to 2027. As you can see, the 2027 estimated unencumbered carryover balance is, I'm putting that at $12 million. Now this is, so the ending balance, the way that the paperwork would be, the ending balance is based off of the unappropriated balance of the general fund, which is about $6.2, $6.3 million. Obviously, it's not going to be that low because typically there is some uncertified revenue and the normal 10% of unused appropriations that happen every year. So if you kind of apply those numbers to the numbers that are on the paperwork, you come out to around 12 million. So that 12 million combined with the calendar year revenue of 49.1 gives us total resources for the general fund next year of 61.1 million. This is a $1.3 million increase to the calendar year revenue. Okay, so on to the expenses. So for 2027, the tax budget for the general fund is about $1.9 million more than the 2026 adopted budget, as I said earlier. This is a $1.9 million increase, or 3.7%. Some of the key assumptions that went into the 2027 general fund tax budget were there were no wage increases for 2027 for the Commissioner's Hiring Authority. There were also no increases for the budgeted portion of the county's hospitalization plans. So this allows us to have some flexibility in the amount of increase that we see from our insurance providers. So you can kind of see some of the increases in the split between the county and the employees beginning in 2023 through this year. So 2.3 increase to the county in 23 with a 1.3 increase for the employees. 2024 was a 9% increase for the county and 8.5% for the employees. 2025 was 8.6 for the county and 8 for the employees. And then this year was 7.7 increase for the county with a 12% increase for the employees. And we've been maintaining that at about a 90-10 split on average for all the plans. As we talked about earlier in the year, when we talked about initializing the budgets, we made the decision that all expense accounts for the 2027 tax budget would be initialized with nothing in them or zero balances. Okay, so this is the general fund expenses, kind of divvied out to the various categories. As you can see, the general fund expenses are predominantly personnel related. 74% of the expenses are related to salaries, benefits, and hospitalization. Salaries, Medicare, and OPERS increased in the general fund by almost 1.6 million, in the 2027 tax budget versus what was approved in the permanent appropriations for this year. This is about a 5.7% increase over the 2026 adopted budget. Wage and staffing increases are mainly responsible for year-to-year payroll fluctuations. Some departments that experienced notable shares of the increase are as follows. So there were about 33.5% of the increase was due to additional payroll in the sheriff's office, which equaled about $530,000. And I think that was, you guys added some additional patrol people, I believe, so that's predominantly what that was from. ADP personnel costs were up 8.7% from the 2026 adopted budget. That's about $137,000. Maintenance accounted for 24% of the rise in costs due to increased staff and increased facility footprints. Their increase was about $387,000. Prosecutor's office was 7% of the increase, or $109,000. The courts actually submitted a decrease in their payroll funding of about 2.3%, or a $43,000 decrease. The other category of expenses, that's in the orange up there at the top. That is about 11% of the budget, and that includes, but is not limited to, things like legal fees, utilities, fuel, travel, and training and advertising. Other expenses increased about 6.5% from this year, or about $326,000. 10% of the budget is contract services. That's in the green on the side. This includes items like building and grounds maintenance, cleaning, and security. It is increasing about $323,000, or about 7.3% from the 2026 adopted budget, mostly due to increases in ground services and building maintenance in the maintenance department. That was about a $255,000 increase. Materials and supplies is decreasing ever so slightly in 2027 by almost $1,000, or 0.1%. The equipment line is 2% of the budget between other and materials and supplies, and includes all the equipment requests for the general fund departments. Equipment decreased by 30% in 2027, and that equipment amount is at about $934,000 for 2027. So here's a breakdown of operating expenses by county category. So you can kind of see public safety there, legislative and executive, judicial, conservation, recreation, human services, health, and miscellaneous. And you kind of have a breakdown there of the various departments that are in each one of those categories. As you can see, 40% of the budget goes to public safety, which is the sheriff, coroner, and the building department. 38.4% of the budget goes to legislative and executive, which is the other elected officials, including the auditor, treasurer, prosecutor, commissioners, recorder, as well as Board of Elections, ADP, planning, and maintenance. Judicial makes up 14.8% of the budget and includes the courts and the public defender. The other categories are small and includes conservation and recreation, which is the OSU extension in soil and water, which is 1.4% of the budget. Human services is the Veteran Service Commission, which is 1.6% of the budget. Health is the Bureau for Children with Medical Handicaps that require the county to set aside at least 0.1 mil of funding to treat medically handicapped children in the county. Major miscellaneous items in the 4% or 1.9 million of the budget is the annual insurance liability, which is about 600,000 of that. Contract services, which is 430,000. Now that's mainly Ravenwood, which we pay them for the operation of the group home. Postage, which was 225,000 for next year. Legal fees, including appointed counsel, which was about 200,000. Court of Appeals, which we have a cost share from them of 60,000, and also the youth detention funding, which was 85,000. And that's the same amount that we used to pay Portage County, literally hundreds of thousands of dollars. And that's budgeted at 85,000 for next year. That's gone up a little bit as we've used them a little bit more and more, but it's remained much, much lower than what we used to pay Portage County, so. So here's kind of a breakdown of the increases from last year to this year on all those categories. So we have public safety basically going up $700,000 from 18 to 18.7. The legislative and executive from 16.8 to 18.1. Judicial from 6.9 to 7. Conservation and recreation going up slightly, as well as human services. Health remains the same, and miscellaneous goes up a bit. So here's kind of a breakdown, a look at some of the various account balances that we have right now and what those things are intended to cover. So there is a $5.3 million in the Senior Center Construction Fund, which reduced a little over $3 million today. That money is going to be used as was mentioned earlier, to purchase the library administrative building next to us here for the Chardon Senior Center. Those funds were transferred from the department, as well as from the sale of the previous senior center, and from the state Community and Economic Development revolving loan fund. The remaining $2 million that's left in there is going to be used for various senior center renovations, including the library administrative building. There's $1 million left in the American Rescue Plan Fund. That's going to be used for McFarland wastewater treatment plant. It needs to be spent by the end of the year, end of this year. There's $7.4 million right now in the building improvements fund. $4 million of that is going to be earmarked for the safety center roof. Once the bidding process on that is completed, there's about $500,000 set aside for the annex roof uptown. $600,000 for the safety center parking lot, which we're in the process of spending. And there's about $2.6 million in projects right now on the docket for next year. There is $3 million in the capital reserve funds, phase 1 and 2. Now that was, phase 1 was used to build this building. Phase 2 primarily right now has been used to build the courthouse extension, but it's going to be used for other projects as well. The phase 1 money for this building, which is about $676,000 that's left over, will be used for various adjustments to this building and the parking lot and equipment. Needs to be spent by 2029 because it's only a 10-year fund. If there is any money that's left over in it, my understanding right now is that needs to be moved to the bond debt retirement that pays for this building. Phase 2, which is the courthouse expansion, is complete or nearly complete. There's about $2.4 million left in that, which is covering $600,000 on the Infinity contract. We'll need to start saving up for renovation of the old courthouse, which is estimated at about $7 million, and I'm going to set a goal, hopefully of about $2.5 million to be set aside for that, for those renovations. The money in the phase 2 capital reserve fund will need to be spent by the end of 2031. So kind of continuing with some of the forward-focused things, we're continuing to build and fine-tune the county's facilities strategy. We want to continue to develop a comprehensive master facilities plan and modernize buildings that the county will be keeping. We want to deploy expanded preventative maintenance programs to stay ahead of major replacement projects. We plan to divest unused or underutilized county properties and consolidate department operations where we can, and avoid higher taxes and debt through strategic saving and financial planning for larger projects. And finally, just kind of highlighting some of the fiscal health aspects of the county. We did get a clean audit, although there were some management notes and various things that were pointed out but to the state, it was considered a clean audit for 2024. We do have a high credit rating. We have the second highest available credit rating from Moody's, which is indicative of sound financial reserves and very low credit risk. The county has undertaken 2 significant projects, the office building and the courthouse expansion, with no additional financial obligations that are put onto the part of the residents. So there were no increased taxes that were levied on the residents in order to do these 2 projects, which were each 8-figure, 7-figure projects. So actually 8-figure. I'm sorry. There's also we're also operating within conservative financial limits to avoid unnecessary fiscal risk. So we don't try and overestimate our revenues, and we try to underestimate or overestimate the amount of expenses and underestimate our revenue where we can, where it makes sense. And that way, we are not putting anyone in a fiscal bind by not being able to reach our revenue numbers and going over our expenses, which are what we're trying to avoid. So at this point, are there any questions that either of you have on anything that you saw, or any comments that you want to make, or whatever?
So one thing that came up this past primary election cycle was that the county is deficit spending, which I understand is based on like a cash method of accounting. Could you talk a little bit about how county funds operate, and how, because it looks like there's revenues at 49 million and then expenses are at 53, so it looks like that there is that gap between the two. So can you kind of explain a little bit about
Sure.
how government accounting works for folks that aren't aware?
Yeah, let me just go back real quick. I want to go back a few slides here in answer to that question. I want to go back to this slide right here. So fund accounting is, each fund is its own self-balancing entity. So you have your cash in the fund, you have the revenue that you're planning on receiving in that fund during the year. So really the 2 of those numbers combined together are what are considered your total resources. And the expenses are deducted from that total resource number as opposed to what our calendar year revenue is. So although we're saying we have 49.1 million in revenue and we have 52 million in expenses, really we have 61 million in total resources. So the thing that the state you cannot do is your current year appropriations cannot exceed your total resources. Otherwise, because of these self-balancing funds, your fund would go into a negative balance if your resources exceeded your, or your expenses exceeded your total resources. So if we're going into the year with 61.1 million in total resources, the appropriations or the expenses that we're budgeting for are reduced from that number, not from the 49.1 million. And some of these things too allow us to make modifications too. So we'll look back when we do the permanent appropriations in December, we'll have a final look at what the numbers are coming in for this year, and it'll allow us to make adjustments or modifications on the expense side. We can't change anything about the revenue at that point, but if there's revenue that didn't come in during this year, we can make adjustments to the appropriations to accommodate a smaller budget if we need to. So.
Yeah, I mean, would it be fair to say that how county accounting works is more like how you would budget in your home, and that you would save money for a project,
Yes.
in your savings account before you buy a new car,
Yeah,
or whatever, right?
As you save that money, maybe you're in the expense, so, you know, if you're gonna repave your driveway, you know, that's $20,000-$30,000, let's say. With all your regular expenses and that, it probably may exceed, some people's annual income, you know, from their jobs. But they've saved up that money, or they had that balance going into it, so.
Hopefully anyway, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I think that's something that the public sometimes has trouble understanding, so I think that explanation was helpful.
Yes.
As far as what, the $12 million unencumbered balance that you're estimating, do you consider that healthy, too high, too low? Do you think there's money we can get back to the taxpayers?
So typically, the way the Budget Commission has mentioned is they like to see at least a quarter, up to maybe a third of a department's operating expenses covered by a carryover. That way, if something happens at some point, how much of the year is covered by that cash balance? And at 12 million, we're covering, you know, about 20 to 25% of the county's budget for the year. So we're at the low end of that, I would say. I've always wanted to, or I've always tried to maintain around a $10 million amount. This is the unencumbered carryover balance. So there are carryover encumbrances. So some of these numbers, like the 9.7 and the 8.5, are a little bit higher because we typically have $2 to $3 million worth of carryover encumbrances. It does fluctuate quite a bit, but so I have tried to kind of keep it at that $10 million, and we can, if we do get to the end of the year and we do have, the revenue is good, the cash balances are good, that puts me in a position to be able to set money aside for building improvements for the various projects that we've had over the last several years, so that we don't need to go out and get additional debt or raise taxes or anything, so that's what I will try and look at that here towards the end of the year and try and plan out the strategic savings in order to keep the balance low and put the money in places where it's gonna get used.
Okay, but we still might have some wiggle room to suppress a levy, it sounds like.
We
Potentially.
definitely, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll
We
wanna-
are still in a good position to do that.
Okay. I know this was the first year we did the zero-based budgeting approach. Do you feel that had any measurable impacts on the 2027 request? Or do you feel like most of the departments ultimately requested amounts similar to what they would have under the prior process?
There were a handful of departments that did take a look at that and did manage to reduce some of their expense lines. Most of those were departments that it was not much of an impact.
Yeah.
So most departments did budget in a similar manner to what they have in the past.
Okay.
I know that Amy and Mark and I, the county administrator and assistant county administrator, have been in discussions or talks with other counties about kind of what their process is,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
maybe looking at changing that up a little bit to kind of, before these departments and other elected officials and stuff submit their budgets, maybe having a meeting with them to kind of go over what is it that you really need here, you know, and looking hardly at some of the numbers, and if you are consistently spending, you know, 10 to 20,000 in a particular expense account, why continue to budget 50 or 60 or $100,000 in that expense account? Because that just becomes unused appropriations at the end of the year.
Right.
So, and I think too, it might be part of the culture too, where people have felt like, oh, well, it's good that I'm giving this money back, but
Yeah.
really you've committed resources for the whole year that could have been utilized somewhere else.
Yeah.
So either giving money back to to residents or, using it for an important project somewhere else.
Yeah, and maybe part of that conversation is just folks knowing that if they under budget, they can come to the commissioners and it's not gonna be
Yes.
some aggressive process, that we would appreciate them getting closer to their budgeted numbers.
Yes. Yeah, and I have mentioned that too in the past, that, if you come in and you have a valid argument, that, you had an unexpected thing that happened, or, you had lowered your budget to be more in line with your history, and this surprise thing happened, I haven't seen the commissioners yet deny a valid request like that, so. There might be some resistance to that, they would rather have it ahead of time, but, it does make, our budget commission meeting more difficult.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, is if there's kind of a, a group approach of how we're gonna look at things.
Yeah, we're definitely, I think, gonna look at, adding some additional communication next year, so.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I just had, I guess, one more question, just a general, what do you think the biggest risks are with this budget? And what sort of assumptions should we be watching more closely between now and then the adoption of the 2027 appropriations?
I think just keeping an eye on the sales tax. I mean, the sales tax is probably the biggest wild card, I would think. The other items are either smaller and we can, handle fluctuations in those a little bit more, but the sales tax being almost 50% of the revenue, you really want to keep an eye on that. It has been, as was shown in the charts, has been in an upward trend now for many years, defying, my best expectations. But I think the retail development in the county that has really been spurred on by, major big box stores, coming into the area, and our low sales tax too, which encourages residents from outside the county coming in and buying large things, large purchases here.
Especially the people on the stores kind of on the edge, like in Bainbridge. and
Yes,
Charlotte.
yes, very much so. So, so I do think we were still in a very good position. And obviously, as I've mentioned in my monthly reports too, things like the interest, levels fluctuating, as well as department fees and fines, particularly prisoner housing and stuff like that. Those do cause some short-term pain when they cause their fluctuations, because they're not insignificant, but they're not, they don't rise to the level of the sales tax or the property tax, but they are, when in combination with one another, they do get noticed, so.
But you think that increase of $1 million for the sales tax for next year is a fair estimate?
Yeah, so we did make that number last year, so I don't feel like it's beyond reasonable to assume we could make that. There are a couple of large projects on the horizon too, with the sheriff looking at replacing or upgrading their 800 megahertz backbone, because it's basically I think 16 years out there. And then also the courthouse expansion. Those are two significant projects that we're looking at doing, and we're trying to update our buildings, just regular maintenance, replacing these roofs and doing all these things. So there are, although we don't have we don't have to build a building like this or the courthouse expansion, between those two projects, over the next probably 3 years, we're looking at about $14 million in addition to all the regular maintenance. So there are some financial hurdles that we have, but I think as long as the sales tax stays consistent and we continue to budget expenses and revenue conservatively, I think we should be fine.
Thanks.
Adrian, I think the real eye-opener for me was during COVID, when next to Cuyahoga County and other counties, when their shelves were bare for paper products and everything else, they came to Geauga County. And so we anticipated a low amount for sales tax, but yet we looked at the numbers, and it really shot up there more, because we were doing all kinds of things. I mean, even, we didn't, to save money, we didn't put mulch on the sheriff's office, okay? So,
Just the sheriff.
well, I don't know what else, but we were doing some things that were just like, why are we doing this? Why are we saving this money? And then all of a sudden, so Adrian's job is about pivoting and adjusting things along the year.
Yes.
And even with, let's say we get $23 million at 1%, and the state gets $135 million just from Geauga County, what do they do with that money? And I've
It
approached.
seems like such an unbelievably large amount, doesn't it?
Yeah, for little Geauga
Little
County,
Geauga County,
96,000 people.
Yeah.
And I've talked to some state reps of like, could you give all the counties 1% back? It stays at that county every other year or every third year? Can you imagine that you could plan on $46 million every third year because we're gonna get 2% instead of 1%? I mean, that would help a lot of all the counties in the state of Ohio. But down at state level, they have no appetite to even talk about that. So, but Adrian, you do it, I've been here for 8 years, and you do an excellent job with balancing and communicating with all the departments, and just want to say thank you.
Appreciate your support.
You've done a great job all these years.
Thank you. Okay, well, let me,
Any questions from the audience?
are we?
Well, we got to do public comment.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we were going to do those at public comment.
So you're going to stick around, Adrian?
Yeah, I can.
Well, thank you.
Yep.
22.
Item 22?
Questions? We need to close the public hearing
Oh, yeah.
at 10:51.
Changing of the guard.
I'll be right back while they're setting.
What? You have to sign this one too.
It's the contract.
Are these just me or?
No, it's both of you. Just figured.
I'll start with that one.
Do I have to do anything with that?
Oh, the remote is right there. It's, I put it up there. Hit the down button and the circle.
Down on the circle thing. There you go. Awesome. It's always nice when technology works. It's going to be a hard act to follow. My name is Mark Sabrion. I'm a representative at Zen Design Architecture. We were the architects on the Geauga County Courthouse expansion project. We had the privilege of partnering with Infinity Construction, Geauga County Commissioners, Sheriff's Department, and the judges in the city of Chardon in order to create a project that was very respectful for the history and the heritage of Chardon Square and the courthouse and its legacy to do this beautiful expansion. Part of the support that we do in communications with TDA is all of our clients, we like to follow their projects along from the groundbreaking all the way to the ribbon cutting and support them through social media posts of video, photography, and writing. And what we produced was on the day of the ribbon cutting, we took some video of the ribbon cutting at the Geauga County Courthouse and produced a video that we're going to put live today on social media. So, drum roll.
This is obviously a huge change to the city of Chardon.
We take a lot of pride in what's in Geauga County.
We were celebrating the ribbon cutting and grand opening and dedication of our Geauga County Courthouse today.
Everyone look at me. 1, 2, 3. Woo! Thank you everybody for being here. This is a great day in Geauga County.
It's pretty humbling today to see this
complete and all the hard work that everybody did.
Days like today are energizing when you see what's possible when alignment replaces silos.
The building that I've been handed in Geauga County is spectacular. It really is. It's so much better in terms of comfort, security, and anything you can imagine that we need on a daily basis to run court operations.
So this building will stand for years, but its real value will be in how it serves the people of Geauga County every day.
Congratulations, Geauga County. You did it right. May this courthouse be a place of peacemaking for many generations to come. Today we're celebrating with a ribbon cutting ceremony and making the courthouse safer for the workers, for the public, for the judges, everybody that works there. A lot safer with the high technology and security. It's one of the most modern courthouse facilities in probably Northeast Ohio.
Our primary concern was security. The old building was built in 1869, 1870 was when it was opened. Modern security's just really changed a lot. So I think for us, the safety of the people coming in and out of the courthouse, the safety of the deputies, the safety of our staff, we're really grateful for the improvements in security.
It helps our people, it helps everybody that visits here. The design was beautiful that we had input with through the entire process. I'm very happy with the way it turned out, and it's a beautiful addition to the city of Chardon.
I really appreciate the security. I appreciate the functionality. I think that the architects and construction company really helped make us a very functional building. And I'm grateful to have a really beautiful space to bring justice to our community.
This video will go live today if you want to hear it better on our social media channels. And TDA would like to thank the county commissioners. It's been an honor working on this project. Thank you.
Thank you. Just to clarify, that was item 22. Thank you. Moving on to item number 26, public comment. Those wishing to make a comment or ask a question on matters of concern, please raise your hand to be called upon. Begin by stating your full name and township or municipality, and you'll have up to 3 minutes to comment or ask a question, and are kindly asked to refrain from disorderly or disruptive conduct.
Okay, we do have one signed up. Howard, South Russell?
Howard, South Russell. What's going on with NOACA? NOACA published this, I guess, a few months ago. Nobody's done anything about it. $30 million a year is collected in gas taxes in Geauga County, and nobody knows where the money goes or how it's spent. Did anybody go to the NOACA meeting last Friday over in Lorain County?
Yeah, I did. I was there.
What went on, Carolyn, over in Lorain County on Friday? Anything at all?
It was a board meeting
A board meeting of what?
of the NOACA Board of
When's
Directors.
Grace gonna come here and talk to us about our NOACA gas money? Is she gonna come at all? Nobody ever answers these questions. Why not? It has to be answered. When are the newspapers gonna get involved in this? When's John Karlovic and the people downtown in Chagrin Falls gonna ask about tax money? Because it affects all of us. It affects the farmers. It affects all the businessmen. It affects me as a retired person, and my children and grandchildren too. We don't know where the money is, do we? Can anybody in this room tell me where the money is that's collected $30 million a year in gas taxes? No answer. Guess nobody knows. How much, we have 41 Amish schools. How much money is being spent for the roads outside the Amish schools to make them safer for the Amish students that go there every day do the normal school year? It says here, something like millions of dollars were spent. I know where all the 41 Amish schools are. I have not seen any improvement whatsoever in 10 years to the roads in front of the Amish schools. And they pay their school taxes. They pay them themselves. I will be here again, and I will ask this question. Maybe next time, the newspapers will be able to answer the questions. They should be able to answer the questions. It certainly is, the commissioners can't answer the questions. Thank you.
Does anyone else have a public comment? Okay. Public comment is closed. And the next is adjournment.
I'll move to adjourn.
Second the motion on adjournment.
All in favor?